What's going on, guys? Matty Russell here. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to rip out all of the old plants in the aquaponics system and plant a bunch of spring vegetables into the grow beds. Let's get stuck into the video. Well, as you can see, guys, I have got my work cut out for me here with this tomato garden. These tomatoes have gone absolutely gangbusters over the last couple of seasons. They've been in the grow bed for about 6 months, and no doubt the root system has invaded the entire grow media. So it's time for me to rip it all up, clean it out, get as many of the roots out of the system as I possibly can, and prepare the bed for the next seedlings of tomatoes to go in order to gain a beautiful ripe tomato harvest in summer. Well, as you saw, the root systems from the tomatoes in that grow bed were nowhere near as bad as I originally expected. Now let's get stuck into this grow bed behind me here. Now, as you can see, guys, the pak choi has gone to seed, and we are going to end up with a ridiculous amount of seeds from these two pak choi plants right here. The plants themselves have just started to die off, so it's time to rip them up and allow these seed pods to dry in order to collect the seeds for next season. Now, as you can see, I have left a couple of plants in the grow bed. This beautiful dinosaur kale right here, looking absolutely amazing and ready to continue to grow throughout the spring. If you remember in a previous video, I got the idea from Rob Bob's Aquaponics Backyard Farm channel on YouTube, and he was growing potatoes, sweet potatoes to be specifically, in the aquaponics system. He had clay balls, and even then they didn't do too well in terms of producing sweet potatoes, but they do produce beautiful potato slips or sweet potato leaves, which can be used in stir fries and salads. Hence the purpose of my growing them. The idea is to allow them to cascade over the edge and grow over the edge like so. Looking forward to getting some sweet potato leaves for salad in the future. Over here we have a couple of ghost pepper plants which I'm trying out in the aquaponics system. Stay tuned for an upcoming video where I'm going to trial growing chili plants in the aquaponics in a dual root zone system. That's coming up soon. But for now, these ones are growing straight in water, and I'm going to trial them to see how they go. Over the back here, I just trimmed down the lemongrass plant, which is doing absolutely amazingly. And here, as you would have seen in previous videos, the dragon fruit, which has been sitting in this grow bed for about 6 months now, has finally started to develop more offshoots and growth. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that develops in the aquaponics system as well. Alright, so now that we've got the grow beds cleaned out, it's ready to plant the new seedlings into the system. And over here we've got the seedlings which I picked up from the local hardware store. Let's have a look at what we've got. We've got beefsteak tomatoes, sweet corn, Lebanese cucumber, blackjack zucchini, bok choy, butterhead lettuce, and snow peas. The method I'm going to use to plant these out is to wash off the roots of the seedlings in rainwater to get the vast majority of the potting mix off of them, to clean them up and then put them straight into the grow beds. Let's get stuck into it. Now that the beefsteak tomatoes are in, it's time to plant the corn. Guys, if you're enjoying this content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already, and give the video a thumbs up. That helps out the channel a lot. Okay, so now that we have the old aquaponics system cleaned up and replanted with spring vegetables, it's time to crack on to the new aquaponics system. Let me show you what's going on with that system and what we're going to plant it out with. This system here would be pretty much fully cycled, and I'm going to add fish into the system within the next few weeks. But for now, let's plant it out. In this aquaponics system, we're going to put the butterhead lettuce, which will primarily go in the floating raft over the back there. The bok choy, which will be planted out in every bed along the front in the media grow beds. And the Lebanese cucumber, I'll have 2 plants in each bed along the back. Now guys, you might be wondering how I'm actually going to grow the tomatoes and the cucumber without a trellis. Well, I'm not. I'm going to add a trellis to both of these beds as the plants begin to grow. In this new aquaponics system behind me here, I'm actually going to use the cages from an IBC in order to build a trellis up the back and over the top. So the trellis will run up here like that and then overhang the top of the grow bed so that the cucumbers will grow down. Similarly, I'm going to do the same thing with the trellis up the back and over the top here for the beefsteak tomatoes. For now, let's get into planting out this new aquaponics system. Okay, so now that we've planted out the Lebanese cucumbers and the bok choy in the new aquaponics system, it's time to move on to the lettuce in the floating raft. Now, as you can see, guys, I've already taken them out and washed off the roots in the rainwater, and they're ready to go into these net cups. Now, to do this, there are a couple of different options. Firstly, we have the rock wool, and secondly, we have the clay media balls. I'm going to take you over to the bench and show you how I do both. Now I'm going to go ahead and implement both methods into the floating raft. I'll turn the camera around and give you a look. Since the fish in this aquaponic system are only just coming back on the feed, and this system over here is yet to have fish added into it, I'm going to go ahead and boost both of the systems with some power feed, all-purpose plant food from the local hardware store. This is a fish emulsion mixed with a seaweed extract, 100% organic and perfect for your aquaponics garden. And there you have it, guys. The aquaponic systems are planted out with spring vegetables ready for a beautiful harvest in the near future. Thanks again for joining me, and we'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.